Chapter 3. Agatha. Waking up, looking at the ceiling revealed dangling fabric streamers. Damn, what a hangover. 3 guys and another chick slept with me in this heaping pile of furs. Rugs on the floor and canvas walls gave me the impression I awoke inside a primitive tent. Walking around naked, I looked for any clothes to put on and ended up with a flimsy skirt and a bejeweled brassiere. I had lost my wand, god damn it. Crawling back into bed, I searched through the pile of furs. I looked all around this archaeologist's tent. My wand was important. That one was sentimental. It allowed me to complete my engagement with the motif. After reaching the center, I fled into Echo and have been running ever since. In these past few weeks, I have floated and flown. I have watched stars fall from the skies while cities crumble only to be rebuilt. All manner of magical creatures conduct scientific experiments to populate the worlds I imagine as I walk free, alone, a new goddess with no master. Where the fuck is my wand? Stepping outside, I squinted at the cloudless blue sky. Moving my wind-blown long hair out of my face revealed a bleak desert landscape. I was more than annoyed at this turn of events, and wondered if it mattered. I was sure I could find a new wand in another probability. For someone like me, it was highly likely I could locate whatever I wanted. Striking out in a direction with the wind at my back, I walked barefoot into the desert. I was thirsty with a headache and realized all those people I had sex with last night meant nothing to me. They were disposable, probable people I'd never see again. My indifference made me wonder what people really were. All my life, our family was troubled but close. What would they think of me now that I've crossed the line? While climbing up the next sandy dune, I sought the infinite image of the motif, my new master. I knew what I wanted and was sure it was highly probable I could find it on this trek into the desert. The ground leveled off at the top of the dune, and I looked up at my ride arriving. I had no idea who the descending shuttlecraft belonged to. It didn't matter as I watched it land on the ground, kicking up a shockwave of sand in all directions. Soon after, a ramp descended, and I continued to shift Echo as I approached. This shuttle was one of my retrieval ships, part of my royal fleet. As I climbed the ramp, a muscular man said, "Welcome aboard, my queen. How may I serve you?" "Show me quarters with a shower," I said. "I need to freshen up." "Of course, my queen," the fellow said. "Right this way." Following Musclehead through this small starship, I thought of his obvious use. I put that aside because it was my time of the month again. Maybe that's why I went crazy last night. Who the hell knows? Perhaps I should see a psychologist. We arrived at the quarters, which were cramped, but at least it offered a shower. After a quick inspection, I turned to my escort and said, "Get us into orbit. I want to dock with the mothership." "Right away, my queen," the fellow said before leaving my presence. "Why do I have to bleed?" was all I thought as I hopped into the shower. I took a long one and rinsed the sand out of my panties. What the hell was I thinking? Arabian Night Fantasy number 7, I guess. I can't convey how incredible it feels to follow a fantasy to fruition. I wondered where this next one leads. What else could I want out of life except another musclehead? Why the hell do I fall for them? I guess it's genetic, and I'm certainly a special case. My mother is Melag, which is a clone built by androids. My father is some immortal wandering probability god who went missing. When my mother and I considered the possibility of my engagement with the motif, it would be to try and track him down. I'd find and rescue him. Yet, here I am, distracted by sex at every turn. The motif enables the fulfillment of my desire in the most practical method. I can't get enough. After receiving Echo-sturdy micromachines during my last visit to Xanadu, the possibility of engaging the motif became a reality. Without them, I could become sick or less effective in distant echoes. What the hell were my parents thinking when they decided to put me together? Like my sister, I was a test tube baby, artificially inseminated at the Xanadu Medical Facility. I loved my family, as strange as they were, but I had no idea where to find my father. From what I know, he was heading to a fast echo. My mom explained that is what my dad called slow time differential probabilities. When you're there, time at home runs faster, hence, a fast echo. I didn't know shit about finding my way through probability. I could feed myself and get laid. That's all I'd been doing since I reached the center of the motif several weeks ago. I really should return home to my mother. I know she worries. As I finished dressing, A knock on the door and a voice, "My queen." We approached the mothership. "Would you care to observe from the bridge?" "I would." "Thank you," I said to the door. Looking around these quarters, I saw nothing of mine and opened the door. On the other side was the previous musclehead who brought me to these quarters. It was strange to think of people as disposable temporary beings, but that's what the motif does to you after engagement. You realize all probable things exist, and there is an infinity of variations, including Mr. Musclehead. He offered a smile and led the way through this mid-sized starship. Our mothers taught my sister and me all about starships. My mother, Erin Gallo, was an Imperial shuttle pilot and a Starnet officer. Mama Jory was a highly skilled Starnet pilot with AP5 rating. When we lived in San Francisco, our family participated in simulated training scenarios on the Floor 15 Aura stage. We took trips to other planets on the Aura stage as well. I thought they were fun, but as we got older and met friends outside the black glass building, it was apparent our upbringing was not exactly typical. After following my guide through several hallways and a lift, I found myself on the bridge of this mid-sized vessel. This type of ship was my mom's favorite spacecraft. She said if you can live on it, it's your home. The defense should be practical. The crew stood at attention as I entered the bridge. The captain took a knee as I said at ease. "Report." Approaching mothership in auto-docking mode, the captain replied as he stood and watched the display on the forward canopy. "Take me to the airlock," I said to my guide. "I want to board as soon as possible." "Of course." "Right this way," my muscular guide said. This mid-sized ship was too large to fit in the mothership's shuttle bay, so our docking was the old-school pressurized extendable walkway between spacecraft. It was a lot like crossing a swinging rope bridge without gravity. My guide remained aboard the mid-sized vessel, and I crossed alone. After passing through an airlock to enter the mothership, a small party of aliens greeted me. Having grown up in San Francisco and having a few alien friends, the strange appearance of another species did not bother me. While these creatures were of a species not defined by the Starnet Union, I classify them as generally human. They reminded me of a blend of Vasconians with Annexians. They didn't have blue skin but did have the strange hair follicle antennae present on their foreheads. One stepped forward, bowed, and said, "Welcome aboard the Judithary. We are honored to convey you to your destination." "Let's get underway," I said. "Of course, Your Majesty," he said. "What is our heading?" "I'll inform you on the bridge," I said. "Right this way," he said and led me to a lift. This chamber was more like a Starnet magnalift compared to the last ship. We rode inside, conveyed either by magnetism or cables. The ride was smooth, and we arrived quickly. Once we stepped onto this modern bridge, a guard at the entrance blew a whistle and announced our arrival, Her Majesty and the captain on the bridge. Everyone rose from their station to face us, and I said, at ease. The captain who escorted me sat in a chair at the center of the bridge while other crew members returned to their stations. I didn't have the foggiest idea where to go. As a probability traveler, I knew it didn't matter. To get where I wanted to be required shifting echo. That meant I needed to decide on a goal, or we would just be flying through space. Sensing my indecision, the captain said, "Navigator, bring up the map." "Aye, sir," one of the crewmen said, and the front display changed to reveal an overhead view of a star map. Standing before the display, I reviewed the map to decide on a destination. Choosing it purely because of the name, I pointed at the upper right section and said, "Here. Set course for Banyan 6. "Setting course," one of the crewmen replied. "Underway, Your Majesty," the captain said. "Expect a 3-day journey at our maximum speed." "Understood," I replied. "Show me my quarters." The captain gestured to one of the female crew, who presented a professional stance and said, "Please follow me." We entered the magnalift again, and the crewman said, "Deck 2. Her command set the lift in motion, and I briefly evaluated this person. She was a little older than I was, and I thought about what my life might be like without the engagement of the motif. This pondering led me to think of my sister. With no other kids in the black glass building, we were close. The place was essentially vacant. We played hide and seek through all the empty apartments, including some occupied ones. Our neighbors were like family as well. They were friends my father met in Echo. He offered them a place to live in the black glass building. The magnalift came to a stop. The doors opened, and my attendant said, "Right this way, Your Majesty." I knew being a queen was an over-the-top way to interact with the world, but it simplified many things, such as lodging, travel, and safety. Besides, I liked it. In a way, all of us living in the black glass building were royalty. We never had to worry about survival, and work was never a requirement. Instead, it was a pursuit of interests. That's what both of my mothers did. We came to a door. My guide led me inside and gestured to these large quarters, asking, "Is there anything else I can do for you, Your Majesty?" "No, thank you," I replied. "That will be all for now. If you require anything, use the communications system to contact the bridge," my attendant said before leaving the room. With the closing of the automatic doors, I was alone in my coddled cell. Wandering around, I took in the view through the window. Mama Jory ensured we were quite familiar with the various Starship engine types, and what to expect when traveling using those systems. Some form of dive into subspace was required to achieve reasonable travel times across astronomical units. The look of these stars made me wonder if this ship used one of the railrunner techniques, which turned the stars into fixed rods. I'm sure Mama Jory would love to look at this engine. She was the consummate scientist in our family. Along one wall, I found the food replicator and rehydrated myself.